Hey guys, how you doing? Trucker G here.
Hi, Mrs. G.
Hopefully y'all are doing good. We were on live earlier and said we were going to be back on, and we ended up losing all signal for a while and started listening to radio, and next thing we know, I told Miss G, you know what, let's just go ahead and let's shut it down. Got a few things I want to talk about. It's kind of important. We'll wait till we get a few people on here. Hit that red button up there real quick. Probably some things that a lot of people need to hear. I really do believe that a lot of people need to hear, to be honest with you. And like I said, we'll get more into it here in just a few seconds. We'll give it about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Ralph.
TT, get down. Leave him alone.
Lisa says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Idaho Nancy says, good afternoon, my beautiful G's. Good afternoon. Cecilia says, hi, G's and G-Force family. Melissa says, hello, G's.
Well, let's get into it. We've got quite a few people on here. You know, I do so much of the social media and have for a while, and tell you what, I get a lot of people on, or not a lot of people. You get that select few that come on and say, well, he's just doing it for the likes, or he's just doing it for the views. No, that's not why I started this channel. I mean, to be honest with you, I love having you all here. At the end of the day, I just reached that one person that I started out to reach to begin with, somebody that needed my help, somebody that needed just an ear. Then I've accomplished what I want to accomplish. I had some lady that put a comment up, and I think she took it down because as soon as I tried to look at it, it was gone. But it was something to do with wanting to slap me in my face because of something I said.
Whoa!
And I thought to myself, you know what? The hypocrisy in people, and I'm just as guilty as everybody else. Talk about wanting to be there for people, and you can't help everybody. You can only do your best. I help those that well, the good Lord kind of leads me to help. Let's say a homeless gentleman walks up to me on the street. Am I going to help every one of them? No, I can't help every one of them. I'm going to pick a select few. We had a gentleman hit us up the other day out in where was it? Winslow, Arizona.
Yeah.
Native American gentleman. He was drunk as a skunk and said he was hungry. I see the driver next to us. He already gave him food and he fed him, and he was just wanting money from me. And I just downright told him, I'm not going to pay for your alcohol. I will not do it. Well, come on, help me. I will help you. I promise I will help you. I will pray for you, brother. But I'm not going to support your habit. Not going to do it. But like I said, the hypocrisy in people, you get so many people talk about how good of Christians they are, but yet they want to judge you because you're not as good a Christian. They want to judge another person because they don't pray to the same God. Is that really Christian? Is that Christian-like? It's just the hypocrisy in people is so great, and I don't think a lot of us even realize we're doing it. I know sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it. I'm really good at sniffing out BS, to be honest with you. Somebody comes up to me, and we all heard the same stories. Hey, I'm out of gas. I'm trying to get home. And they're there on the same corner every single day, out of gas and trying to get home, just trying to grab money from you. Why don't you come up to me and just be honest with me? Be honest. I would respect that more. I'm tired of those that do need the help. They kind of get left to the wayside because there's so many out there that don't really need the help, and they just want to feed off the kindness of others, that they get looked down upon. I don't look down upon any of them, even the ones that are out there scamming you. I don't look down upon them. I pray for them. I wish them a better path in life, but I don't look down upon them. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be homeless. Been there, done that. And when I say been there, done that, I mean been there, done that. Promised my family, promised myself and God, my family would never have to go through that. My family's never been hungry. They've never been homeless, and I plan on keeping it that way. But it's just crazy the world we're living in. And like I said, we're all guilty of it. Are you looking in the mirror each morning and asking yourself, am I the change that I want to see? I know I try to. I try to be. Not always successfully, but I try. And that's all any of us can do. If every one of us tried to be the change we want to see in this world or in this country, things would change drastically. And I don't mean just, hey, no, stop. I don't mean just those that see things through the same eyes that we see them through. Those that believe in the same God. Those that vote the same way we do. Heck, you want to see change in politics? Reach out to somebody that believes different than you. Find out what they believe and find out how much different it is that they actually believe. Hold on. I watch these videos, and Miss G watches a whole lot more videos than I do. But every once in a while, like last night, I was on the short reels and TikTok and stuff, and was just looking at some of the stuff Miss G watches all the time. But there's a gentleman on there. There's a lot of people on there, should I say, and they're giving away all this cash, and doing great things, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But this one guy really stuck out to me. He's like, God bless you, and I'm like, right on. Here, let me bless you. And then I watched a few of his videos, and like I said, he was giving out all this money to people that needed it, and I'm thinking, you know what, that's cool. And then I seen the one video from the guy, and he's giving away a charger, a car, and he's holding up these signs for people to read, and the very first sign he holds is something to do with, for all my fans. Is that very Christian-like? You're going to talk to me how much you're a man of God, but you're going to talk about how you have fans? No, the Lord put those people in your life. They're not your fans. If you think they're your fans, now you have an ego. You are living off of pride. Pride is one of the 7 major sins, is it not? I'm not really versed on the Bible like I probably should be. But when you call people your fans, now you're dealing with pride. I don't have fans. I have family. You're either my family or we're an acquaintance. If you're here with me every day and you're watching my videos, I consider you family. I'm going to break bread with you. I'm going to invite you over to the house. Have and always will. As long as I have something to give. And I'm not saying I'm better than this person. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, we all need to look back in the mirror and take a better look at ourselves. Even though we think we're doing God's work or the absolute right thing, sometimes is it really the right thing? Giving that guy $20 because he said he's hungry, is that the right thing to do? Well, I want to make sure that he feeds himself. I want to go buy him food and make sure he's fed. I don't want to give him $20 to feed his addiction. I guess it's pretty much what I wanted to say. You got anything to say?
Brian says, what kind of change are you talking about exactly? Are you referring to politics?
Brian, I'm talking about everything, just changing life. You could bring it into politics if you want. At the end of the day, Republican, Democrat, I don't care what you think you are or what you say you are. You're either rich or you're poor in this country. And I'm here to tell you, unless you can drop $1 million in 30 seconds and not feel some kind of sting, you ain't rich, brother. We're all in the same boat. We're all just hustling and trying to make a living for our families and our loved ones. We're just trying to put food on the table. We're trying to put a roof over our family's head. Whether you think you're Democrat, whether you think you're Republican, whatever you think you are, you're a human being. Here in this country, you're an American.
Tim says everyday life, Brian.
I think if we stop labeling each other and seeing each other in a different light and start finding the common ground with each other, we can all come together so easily. We're the ones that make it hard.
Is anyone else on Facebook having any problems? I know Debbie said that she was having a problem with it messing up. Ash said she's having a problem too, so she jumped to YouTube.
Frank, you're right.
I'm not sure.
You're exactly right. Frank, division is killing us. And it's going to continue to kill us. And we're going to watch the downslide of this country even further than what we've seen it in the past decades. It is going downhill fast. It's like a snowball headed to hell. Mr. Merle Haggard said it himself. You know, it's like a snowball headed to hell. And right now that little snowball is starting to turn into an avalanche.
Thank you guys for letting me know. I guess it's just certain people that are having problems on Facebook, because someone else at Arctic said that they had to jump over to from Facebook to YouTube. Cecilia says, geez, I have family that are truck drivers and not really know what they go through being by themselves. Years later, you have helped me understand and have been able to help my daughter. She loves it.
Well, awesome. I'm glad. And it's not just trucking. I mean, everybody has different ways of life. If we would take more interest in another person's life, maybe we'd learn more about other people. You know, I'm really curious when it comes to different cultures. I want to taste your food. I want to know where you come from, what it was like, and how you like being here. Just because you're in America doesn't mean you have to Americanize. You don't have to lose your culture. You don't have to lose where you're from. You need to love where you're at, in my opinion. If you're going to be here, you need to love where you're at. But you don't have to lose who you are.
Sandy says, we will never find common ground with demons, not ever. It's been tried for way too long. I just see that in everyday life, you know, whether it be on the internet, and we see it a lot on the internet.
I was kind of...
someone...
Oh, go ahead, sorry. I apologize. I was on a roll.
That, you know, instead of saying something nice to somebody or anything like that, or thinking that someone is genuine just by seeing their actions, people right away start digging into them. They dig into each other. It's like a hobby. It's a sport. What am I going to do today? I'm going to get on here and I'm going to start throwing mud at this person, and that person's going to throw mud at that person. Why? Does it make you happy? Does it make that person happy? Do you thrive inside? You know, seeing all that stuff and being around all that stuff, it drags you down. But to have a positive attitude and to pass your positivity on to someone else with just a smile, a handshake, a good morning, you know, a picture that you thought was beautiful outside, to share it with someone else is so much better. I'm just...
You know, this guy that I seen on TikTok, and I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, I'm not going to mention his name or nothing, but I'm going to kind of just dwell on him a little bit. Like I said, he's all about God, and I guess he really believes he's doing it for Christ. But like I said, you're going to hold a sign up saying, for my fans. No, it's not for your fans. It's either for your family or it's for yourself. Which is it? Because it's not for God. You're putting it up on video, calling these people that are watching you your fans. That's a pride thing. You know, but what I did like about his previous videos that I seen is I enjoyed watching the smiles that he put on other people's faces. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed just seeing random acts of kindness. And I think a lot of us do. We enjoy seeing the random acts of kindness. Is it always just for the random act of kindness? No, a lot of times you're videoing it, you're doing it for the likes and the shares. And I was kind of at a crossroad because I'd love to do something like that. But I don't want it to be about the views. I just want to share people's smiles. I want to be able to put a smile on somebody else's face. Because a smile is contagious.
And I'm sure that there'll be someone come on here that sees this and say, you know what, that's just not realistic. But the way I see it is realistic. It is something realistic.
They think they got, I got what they said wrong. Or you got what they said wrong, one of the two. I really wasn't replying to any sort of comment, to be honest with you.
Brian says, I'm retired from the Department of Corrections. I retired early because of the nastiness of politics, 25 years of ignorance. I'm a Democrat, by the way, but Trucker G has a good, positive view.
Brother,
well, welcome, Brian.
You're an American just like the rest of us. You're a human being, and we love you no matter what. And that's the way it needs to be. We might not have the same political views, but we all want the same thing. We want to love our family. We want to feed our family. We want to put a roof over their head. We don't want the government messing with us. We just want the government to do their damn job when it comes to politics. End of story. Life is so simple. We make it hard. But kind of what he was saying, you know, kind of talks a bit about why I got so worked up. Sitting here doing I did my post-trip inspection. Miss G taking care of the dogs like she does
the
every
routine.
day. And these two young men walked up to the truck. And we're used to that here in the truck stops. You know, a lot of people coming up, and I'm guilty. I am guilty, guys, and I'm here to tell you I'm guilty. My first thought is, how much they asking for, or what's their story? They run out of gas. Which one is it? Because I've heard them all. And
but that's probably more jaded.
When the young man started speaking, I felt about that big. I felt about that big. And the reason why, the young man was with this, and I've got the paper right here. It's with this organization called Rise Discipleship. Doesn't matter if you believe in God, don't believe in God. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, I love you just the same. Because he had this thing that has a lot to do with God, didn't make me any more interested in what he was saying. What made me interested in what he was saying is what the program was about. I'm kind of read it to you here. Free discipleship program, no waiting list. On the back it says, Rise Discipleship. Society says, once an addict, always an addict. But Jesus says, I am the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The men in the home are provided leadership development, character building exercises, and are taught spiritual principles daily. Their mission is to reach the lost, make disciples, and lead the world. Take all the religion out of what that mission statement is. Take all the religion out of it. Reach the lost. How many do we see every day that are lost? And I don't mean just lost with Jesus Christ. I mean just lost in this world.
Yeah.
Don't think anybody's out there for them. Don't think there's an ear out there to listen to them. And how many people are actually out there that are like that? We don't give them the time of day because the clothes they're wearing. Maybe they ain't as clean as us.
Because we judge them right off the bat.
Maybe they dress different than us. Second part, make disciples. And I don't want you to sit there and just dwell on the religious part of it, because I know a lot of people ain't into religion. Me personally, I'm a believer in Christ. But I'm never, ever going to push my beliefs on anybody else. I'll tell you what I believe. God gave us the gift of free will. And you have the will and the right, the God-given right, to believe what you wish. And I respect you for it. I don't, like you hear me say all the time, I do not care what God you pray to. I don't care what gender you sleep with. It's none of my business. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to tell you I love you either way. I'm here to tell you I'll pray to you. I'll pray for you. But I'm not going to make you pray if you don't believe it. Because it doesn't mean nothing unless you mean it when you do it. So let's talk about that. Make disciples. Like I said, taking the religious part out of it. Disciples. Just somebody to spread the word. Spread the word that, hey, I'm there for you. You don't need them drugs to live life.
You're not lost.
You're not lost. We're here for you. The last part, lead the world. Imagine if we had more leaders in this world than we did followers. More leaders than we did sheep. We see people follow blindly every single day. Because Jack did it, I got to do it. Because Jill did it, I got to do it. No, step up. Be a leader. Don't follow. You can stand side by side with somebody you believe the same with, or like-minded, but don't follow that person. Don't follow nobody. Don't follow me. Please don't follow me. I've been down the wrong path more than once, and I don't want to lead you down the wrong path. But if you want to walk side by side with me, I'll be proud to have you. My chin up high, my chest stuck out. We start going down that wrong path. Guess what? When you're side by side with me, you can turn around. When you're following behind me, you're not seeing what's in front of us. You're blind. side by side, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing, and you can always make your own road. I guess does that make sense? Stephanie Justice says, follow Jesus. Stephanie, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm not going to tell you to follow Jesus. Me personally, I'm going to.
That's a
and it took me a long time in my life to be able to say that, because I was not always a follower of Jesus. But I'm not going to tell somebody else to follow Jesus if that's not what's in their heart, because then it's just words. They need to do what's right for them, for their soul, what they believe. The truth will set them in the right direction, or I don't know.
Bill says, thank you, G's. Been going through a very difficult time for several days. Listening to you both set a well-needed shiver through me. Something positive and inspirational. Wish I could listen. Arctic says, I get tired of the labels. I'm this kind of American, or that kind. Wish we would all just drop the labels and get united as just Americans. With Jesus, we are all equal and united. More love, less judging.
You know, Mrs. G's from a Mexican-American family.
Well, duh.
Does that make them any more or less American than us? I mean, my family came over on a boat from Norway. We keep, like she just said, we keep labeling each other. Instead of labeling each other, let's love each other. Let's be there for one another, whether we believe exactly the same or not. If we all believed exactly the same way, how boring would life be?
Amber says, can't say that I have faith anymore, but it's just general rule to treat others how you want to be treated.
Right there's faith,
and
sweetheart.
Our prayers are with you. I'm so sorry about your sister. Stephanie says, I totally get it. Or get. I think she meant get it. I think. Lisa says, I am proud to walk side by side any day.
Well, let me kind of go back into these two young gentlemen. You know, they handed me this paper and they started talking to me, and I think the young gentleman said he's been clean for 10 years now. Was it 10 years? And the other gentleman that was with him, he said, and my brother here, he's been clean for a month. Did he the way he said it, he didn't say he was any better than that other one, than his brother.
Nope.
He was no better. Just because he was clean for 10 years.
He had the same pride when he said it for both of them.
He was just as happy about his brother being 1 month clean than he was proud of himself for being 10 years
clean.
A lot of us, and sometimes I'm guilty too, guys, that's why I say us, we'll look at a drug addict and we'll turn the other cheek. We'll turn around the other way. Oh, he's just going to fall right back into the same routine, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
But it's not always
But instead
true.
of having faith in the young man or woman and praying for them or talking to them and encouraging them, we're going to look down upon them. Why is that? We want to see change in this world, but yet we don't want to be that change.
Cecilia says, we never know what people are going through. Just a smile or a hi. When I lost my daughter, I went to the store. A man behind me on the line said hi and said, can I give you a hug? It meant the world to me.
Those people are like that are putting our lives for a reason. You call it God putting them there, karma putting them there, the universe putting them there. I don't care who put them there. They're put there for a reason. Because you needed it at that time.
Like I always say, everything happens for a reason. Even the bad stuff. It happens for a reason.
I believe we're all here right now for a reason. What that reason is, I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing what my heart tells me to do.
Brenda says, our world is so upside down. Stay strong, love yourself, so others can love you.
I like that. But don't love yourself so much that you stop loving others. We see that so much too. Look at Hollywood. How many of them, the Hollywood people just love themselves so much and have so many fans that they're no longer able to love.
Ash says, just went through one of the hardest things. I was scared I would fall and slip up. When you guys called to remind me where I needed to be, It saved me again. We love you, Ash.
Ashley, you know, I'm blunt, and I know Ashley sometimes hates to talk to me.
She does,
because I am so blunt, and
sometimes I hate to talk to you because you're so
sometimes
blunt.
I'm so blunt that I'm just mean, and I don't know if it's a flaw, if it's a bad thing or not. I just got to be who I am, though, and I'm just going to tell you what I believe you need to hear. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to tell you like it is.
And you know, when we did talk to you, Ash, we were worried about you. We love
Ashley,
you.
you know you can always reach out to me, sweetheart.
John Sahady says, if you're born here, you are American, period.
Why do you have to be born here to be American?
It can be American of a certain descent, but you are American, and that comes before the country of descent. Did I read that right?
Of descent.
Sorry, my eyes are like really...
John, I'm going to kind of correct you a little bit there, brother. I don't believe you have to be born here to be an American. There's some, I've seen, well, let's just go back to the convoy. All the Polish family that we met and we come to love.
Yes.
Them Polish gentlemen were more proud of this country than I've seen most natural born Americans. They were more proud of this country than most natural born Americans that I've ever seen in my life. I could tell you more about the history of this country than natural born citizens of this country. So I'm going to just kind of reverse that on you a little bit, brother. I've seen it with a lot of different ethnicities.
My grandpa. Sorry. Yeah, my grandpa and my great-grandpa. My dad, I remember listening to Dad tell stories about both of them. They knew, they knew the Constitution.
He busted his ass to become a citizen of this country.
And they knew the history of our country better than I know the history. And I was born here in the United States. And my grandpa and my great-grandpa came over from Mexico.
We take for granted what we have when we're born here, I believe. And then it's just my opinion. I believe we take for granted of what we have.
I think we become spoiled.
We do. And I believe a lot of people that come here for the reasons of just loving this country, I think they see it a little better than we do. In my opinion, I believe they do. I think they see what they came from to how much better they have it now. We throw that word communism around so easily. We're becoming communist. Unless you've lived in a communist country and seen it firsthand, maybe you got to think twice about talking about how we're becoming communist. We're heading down the wrong path, don't get me wrong. I truly believe that. But I talking to one of my Polish family. I like to call them family. I don't like calling them friends. They're he got a little pissed about talking about communism. He was telling me a story about his aunt and how she'd have to sneak out in the middle of the night to go give her mother shots to live in fear of being shot in the street at night for just going to administer medicine to her mother.
John says, my comment is, those that say Mexican American, African American, if they are born here, it should be American of certain descent. May that have become American have gone through hell to become American. My comment is, these kids that claim they are from elsewhere when they aren't. Okay,
John, that's kind of our fault. That is this country's fault. How many times have you filled out that application? Whether it be filling out your medical records or anything you fill out for the government. It says, what descent are you? Going to get a gun.
Background check.
Background check. Let's talk about that for a second.
We had that problem.
We had a big problem with that. Mrs. G's filing for a background check.
Because I was getting the gun.
Guess what? They got African American, Native American. They got white.
It was two different
Hawaiian American.
It was two different categories. One was ethnicity and one was, I think it was race. And there was two different ones that I had to fill out on the background information. On one of them, I knew exactly what to put because it had Latin
descent.
Yes, but on the other one, it didn't give me an option.
It didn't give her the option.
So
what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to lie on a government document? There was no other.
And we even asked the people there, what do we do here? Because there's not an answer for me.
Our government makes us label ourselves. Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they make us label ourselves? So they can further divide. That's what it's about. It's about division. And this younger generation that talks about the more division, I don't blame them. Don't blame them at all. A Mexican American, I don't want you to give up your culture. Right? Would it make you happy if they said I'm American Mexican? Our government, the media, has put those labels out there.
Politically correct is the terminology. Debbie said, how about we are all God's children? Ace says, what
if we don't believe in God, though? Personally, I do. But I'm not going to judge somebody that doesn't.
Someone may not. Ace says, my great-grandfather was born in Germany and came to America when he was 6 weeks old. He was an American, just like anyone who is born here.
Yes, and I agree. Look at all the Japanese, the Japanese that were Americans during the war. They were put into
the internment camp.
The camps. And they were American because they were afraid that they might be a spy.
Chuck says the government does that to us because they want to control us.
Bingo.
Longhair Miss says, it is like they call Native Americans when my people are considered also American Indian.
Where's that?
Right here. Longhair Miss. It is like they call Native Americans when my people are considered also American Indian.
Longhair Miss, which people are you talking about, sweetheart? I get what you're saying. I was just curious. I wanted to learn a little bit.
Tim says, I'm an alien. I bleed green. LOL.
Debbie says, okay, then where did those that don't believe in God come from? Just a thought. Debbie, there's people out there that are agnostic. There's people out there that claim to be atheists. There's people out there that are Muslim, Hindu, Buddhists. I'm not here to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't believe in, because it's not my place to judge. In my faith that I believe, it says not to judge. So I have no judgment towards anybody.
Longhair Miss says Cherokee.
Oh, gotcha.
John Sahadi says, my family is from Lebanon, Syria. Before it was split into two separate countries.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, John. I know the history of that.
I did not know that.
That's pretty neat.
John Smith asked, where are we? We're in, where is it?
Fort Stockton, Texas is where we are.
Sherry says, I don't care about race. I'm American. Amber says, can't we all just agree we are all mammals and need to survive?
We're all just humans. We need each other. Because anybody that thinks they can get through life alone, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. And the reason why I'm here to tell you you're wrong, because that's one of the most cruel and unusual punishments that our system has. I kind of lost blank. What do? They put in prison. What do? They put you in solitary confinement. And there's a time that you're allowed to be in solitary confinement because they know at some point you're going to go crazy. I mean, look at Castaway. You ever see that movie Castaway? John Hanks. I know we're going Hollywood. But he started going crazy on the island by himself.
Lone says, I'm Heinz 57. Very unique. This world couldn't handle another one of me. LOL. Debbie says, I'm not judging G, just asking a question.
No, I get you.
Frank says, good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. G. Hope you're both doing well. Here in Florida today, it's 85 degrees.
What I really would love is if more Christians, and I'm learning this myself too. I'm just as guilty, and I'm not pointing the fingers at anybody. Is I want us to be more inclusive. and understanding of people that are different than us.
More open-minded.
A lot of times I've seen it firsthand, where if you don't believe the same thing I do as a Christian, you're not a Christian enough. What kind of Christian is that?
Lori says, Blackfoot Indian here, American.
Awesome.
And okay, I read that one. Sorry. Jana says, my mom was from New Mexico, and some people don't know where it's at. Diane says, my dad in the early 1940s wrote human in the space for race on the Canadian Army registration form.
Oh, that's awesome.
And says, my family is Australian, Scotch, German, Irish on one side, and hillbilly on the other. Does that make me an American?
I never found
mutt?
that hillbilly.
LOL.
I never found that hillbilly box.
That's cute, American mutt. Navo says every human on Earth has some common genes, which means that every human on Earth is related. Think of it this way, and race does not exist in reality. Jen says, as a Native American, why is my race the only one in the world that I have to have a card to prove who/what I am? No other races have that. I'm half white too, but I can't prove it.
Well, let me kind of correct you a little bit, Jen. Native American isn't a race. I mean, we use that all the time. You know, I'm Mexican, my race is Mexican, my race is African American, my race is Native American. No, there's only one race. That's the human race. Now, we do have different cultures. And
ethnicities.
Where your question is why do I have to have a card? That's because of the government. That boils right back to the government. And it has to do with your government too, your tribal council. They wanted to have those cards. That way they could receive the money that was due to them. And I'm walking on eggshells here. I know a lot of the different tribes did take the money that was given to them by the government and the stipend. And I'm not going to say yours did. I'd have to look more into it. I know with the Lakota, the Sioux tribe, Black Hills government still owes them money for the Black Hills that they refused to sell to the government. Never did sell it. Got taken from them. They were promised money, but they'd never take that money because it wasn't their land to sell. And in the Native American culture, the way it used to be is a human couldn't own land. You don't own the land. The gods own the land.
Tammy Floyd says, my dad taught us one major thing in life, and that is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Pretty simple, you'd think.
If we could do that, I think it would help everyone.
Life is so simple. Just that right there. That's what makes life so simple, but yet we make it so hard.
Trish says, I truly believe we are all just a different shade of green, Mr. and Mrs. G.
Fred says there are 3 races, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, the only 3 that came off the ark. Does that make them different races? I mean, were they not human? I mean, like I said, I'm not as versed in the Bible as I should be, but was those 3, were they human?
Excuse me. Chuck says, you guys are awesome. We just love you. Love you guys. We
Kathy
love
says
you
in
too,
court,
sweetheart.
how's atheists sworn in court? Do you think they really even believe in the Bible anymore? What happened to separation of church and state?
Long hair miss says, nice ace and hello again. Ash says, the U.S. government isn't a friend to anyone, always only looking out for themselves. Amen to that. Amber says, we are social creatures indeed, G. John Smith says, our freedom is dying quick.
And you're right. And I'm going to say, I know I've said it, and I'm going to say stuff that offends people, and I like to do is tell you what's in my heart and what's on my mind. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Because, tell you what, like I tell you all the time, what do I know? I'm just a dumb old hillbilly. Sometimes, I'm from Missouri, you got to show me sometimes.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree on certain things, and we can still remain, family. You can't just cut someone off because, well, some people do, but I don't believe that you should cut someone off just because they're not exactly the carbon copy of the way you think and the way that you live. She'll love them for who they are.
Michael said God owns everything. We are just stewards of what he has blessed us with. Who's God, Michael? Our God? The Hindu God? The Buddhist God? I'm not here to tell anybody they're right or wrong. I'm not here to judge what anybody else does or what somebody else believes. I'm not here to tell you I'm right or you're wrong. All I know is what my faith tells me, what I believe in, and pray I'm right. That's all I can do. I'll know when the time comes.
Tammy says, as I sit here disabled and alone in isolation, it is so cruel it makes you just want to quit. Sweetheart, you're never alone. You're never alone.
No.
We're always here for you.
Sometimes we feel lonely. But
and sometimes you can feel lonely even when you're in a crowd with a bunch of other people.
I feel that all the time.
And it happens.
Cindy says there is only one God. Cindy, I mean, broaden your horizons, sweetheart. How do you know? You know because you have faith that there is only one God, and the Bible tells us that there is only one God. Am I here? And that same Bible tells me not to judge somebody else. Even says in there not to judge them for their belief. When it says don't judge, do not judge. We will know the answer when we pass on. We can feel it in our heart and our mind and our soul and our body as strongly as we want to. The only time we know the truth, the actual God-given truth, is when our time comes. I know that a lot of Christians ain't going to want to hear that. But the only answer back when I didn't believe in God, the only answer I could get from any priest, pastor, reverend, any man of God, how do I know God is real, was faith. That's the only answer I could get for many years of me being agnostic, should I say. I wasn't atheist. I was agnostic. I just wanted somebody to tell me why there was a God. How do we know there is a God? Because he hadn't been in my life. And that's how I felt, guys. I'm just being honest with you. It took me a long time,
many years,
to get to where I'm a believer. But I'm going to be blunt and totally outright and honest with you. When somebody tells me there is only one God, I'm not here to tell a Buddhist he's wrong. I'm not here to tell a Muslim he's wrong. I'm going to say you believe what's in your heart and you do what's right, and you treat others the way you want to be treated, and don't look at me any different for what I believe in. And at the end, we will know the answer. But have faith in what you believe in.
Frank says, I remember a day when you could disagree with the other political party and still go out and have a drink with them.
Yeah. Sonoran Desert says all life's answers are in the Bible. And I feel that same way too. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. But also in that Bible, it tells me not to judge others. I cannot look down or tell somebody they're wrong in their beliefs. I can tell them what my beliefs are. They can tell me what their beliefs are. And if we still don't agree what each other's beliefs are,
that's fine.
I can give them a hug. I can love them just as much as I love a Christian.
Sandra says, I'm in that situation right now, being judged whether I believe in God or not.
You're not being judged here.
I think she's talking about.
I know she is. And it shouldn't be that way. A person of Christ, a true Christian, does not look down upon their nose at another of what they believe in. And I see it. I've seen it for decades, especially back when I wasn't sure if I believed or not, and I wanted to believe. I wanted somebody to give me the answers. I wanted somebody to tell me definitively there is a God and show me that God. But it's never going to happen. I'm going to have it here. I'm going to have it here in my faith, in my mind. It took me a lot of decades to come to that realization. But I see so many Christians out there that knows that Bible by the front to back. Cover. I don't know it from front to back. I don't. Maybe I should take a little extra time. And one of these days I might. I will. I'm going to try. I'm not going to promise nothing. But I know deep right here, and I know deep right here, and from what I've read in that Bible, tells me I look at I don't look at anybody else any different than I do myself or my loved ones or my wife or as far as having the same respect and not judging them.
Arctic says, it's only offensive if it's true.
Sandra says, without God, you were nothing. Sandra, what God? Jesus Christ? Your God? So you're telling me that gentleman that believes in Allah, he don't exist because he's nothing, because he don't believe in the same God? So we're just having illusions. That gentleman wearing the turban over there that prays to Allah, he don't exist because he don't believe in God. That's what your statement said there. We have to be careful of how we use our words. That's how we are becoming so divided in this nation, is because we're judging others. I don't know how much more plain I can be. Penny says, I've been a Christian for 44 years, and I don't know.
Know the Bible verse for verse, but I know what really counts. Arctic says, it's only offensive if it's true. Once we quit being offended by everyone and everything, then maybe we can get back to being decent to each other and live as better human beings. Whoa, that rolled. Sorry about that. Mona says, not your job to judge. It is too big a job for mankind to do.
Yes.
Krista says, hi, my friends. I received my G-Spot seasoning and lotion. Love both of them.
Actually,
yummy.
I seen that right there.
Awesome, sweetheart.
Fred says you have to either believe in the Bible or not. Acts 4:12. Neither. Oh shoot. Can you go back to that?
I'm trying to see it. Sometimes they don't pop up on my phone. I'm not sure where it was. It was one of the newer comments.
Can you scroll? Right up there. I was almost done with it. Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation or any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
There we go. John Sahady says, I don't know my Bible, but I also use actions more than words. Folks laugh when they find out that I have that minister's license and used to help run a church, all because of the way I do things.
No, I get you, brother. Bill says, I believe there is only one God, but we're all taught differently by different languages. We all have the same end goal. And what I've noticed, Bill, just through history, the Bible changes. The Bible has changed through history. Why? Because of pride. Because of sin. Why has it changed? Because this king wanted to do what he wanted to do. And he wanted the Bible changed to make what he was doing right.
So that the church would agree with him.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
And let him do what he wanted. Snoring Desert says, we as Christians are supposed to try and show all the narrow path. Oops, that rolled.
Danny says different versions. And you're right, Danny.
There you go.
And when you go to different churches, let's go back to you guys all know I'm Catholic. And that's the faith I chose, was my Catholic faith. That's what my grandma was. That's what my family is. That's what Mrs. G's family is. Mm-hmm. It's not why I did it. I didn't do it because of my family, or didn't do it because of her family. It's because I was in search of the Lord. I was in search of the Word. I was in search of the truth. I was in search of God. I wanted, like I said, I wanted so bad somebody to tell me definitively, show me His face, let me hear His words. I mean, not from a Bible. I wanted to hear His voice. And I think I just wanted it so bad that I wasn't hearing. I wasn't seeing. We've talked about this before. But let's go back to in my search. In my search, I went through many different churches. I went to many different faiths. I went to Pentecostal churches, went through Baptists, Southern Baptists. I've been to... what's the other? I'm drawing a blank now. I went through many different churches. Put it that way. And what I've noticed, they were all preaching from the Bible. Sometimes, most of the time, same version of the Bible, the King James version. Some of them were preaching from a different version of the Bible, but they all said Bible on the front. And I noticed when they were reading these passages, they all had different meanings when they read the passages, because they'd give their homily. They'd tell me, but no, this is, and they would read what was in the Bible, and then they'd tell you what it meant.
Their interpretation.
Their interpretation of what it meant. And I noticed that a lot of them preachers had different interpretations of what things meant. Preachers are really, really good. I mean, I've seen a lot of preachers out there in wolves and sheep in wolves' clothing, or wolves in sheep's clothing. Excuse me. Look at these televangelists. Send me money so I can buy that jet airplane so I can go preach to the masses. You need a $7 million jet airplane to go preach to the masses when you're on TV already? But you live in mansions. They drive these fancy cars, BMWs, Mercedes-Benz. I don't know. This wasn't supposed to be This wasn't supposed to be a religious. And this is one thing I told myself a long time ago, and I broke my rules. Is
two things we didn't discuss: politics or religion.
Religion. But I see those are the two things that are bringing this country to its knees: politics and religion. And they're both simple answers. Politicians, do your job, what you're supposed to do. Work for us, the people. What's best for the people. Simple. Religion. Love thy neighbor. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Not if they believe in the same God. Not if they look the same. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Period. Life is simple. We make it hard.
Bill says, funny, I've walked into different churches, not of my Catholic faith, but felt an overwhelming peace everything I walked through the doors. It wasn't the building, but the faith.
And I tell you, I'm Catholic, right? Do I believe everything the Catholics believe? No, I don't. Just because the Pope said it doesn't make it right. You have to kind of cipher in religious how far you're going to go in believing. I don't believe the man, I believe the Lord. Just because he said it doesn't make it true. You got to find in your heart how true things are.
Penny says, I'm a Christian without a denomination. I mainly read the New Version, but I use Bible Gateway to look at other versions.
Sugar, but that's the other one. I was Presbyterian. That's the word. That's the denomination I was actually reaching for. I've been to Presbyterian churches.
You've been to Lutheran churches.
Been to Lutheran churches.
Long hair.
Believe me, I tried a plethora of churches because I was searching the Word. I was searching for truth, and I mean, I wanted it bad, but nobody could give me a definitive answer. Nobody. Priests couldn't give me a definitive answer. Pastors, reverends, deacons couldn't give me a definitive answer. How do I know there's a God? The only answer I could get was faith. And it took me a long time to realize what faith was.
Debbie says, that's right, G. Best friends with an atheist, and we get along great.
Sometimes you just have to pick your conversations. We can agree to disagree. Brother, I understand you don't believe in God, but I'm going to pray for you anyway.
Carol says, I don't believe in organized religion. I do try my best to follow God's word. I was raised as strict Latin Catholic and strict Southern Baptist by weekends with sets of grandparents. I only found a relationship with God in early 2005. It's about relationship. Preacher and priest are men, human.
And you are exactly right, sweetheart. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Just because a priest says it doesn't make it true. Just because a preacher says it doesn't make it true. The church is the congregation. It's the people coming together. And yeah, I can pray underneath a tree all by myself. But there's something about being congregated with other people that just kind of gives you a feeling of love.
My dad always said he didn't have to go to church to pray.
And he don't. None of us do.
But my mom's explanation for that was he just didn't want to go to church.
And he didn't.
Doesn't mean he don't pray, but he's raised strict Catholic, went to Catholic school, graduated Catholic school.
I did seizure testing. My patients talked about the Bible stuff. Right on, Janet.
Wendy says, that's why you should pray for the Holy Spirit to guide you as you study. Amen. Mary says, that's like the school where my grandchildren go to. Burned down 2 weeks before school started. It was a total loss. But there was 2 Bibles that was not burned. Someone was looking after them.
Bible's just a book. It's just paper that it's paper that it's written on. I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that.
John Sahadi says, it's not about religion, it's about relationships. Relationships is something I've always told people. And you're
Bible,
right.
like I'm going to go right back into it, and I'm going to make a lot of people mad. That Bible is just paper and leather. It's just another book. It's the Word is where the powers are.
Papa Mike says faith is the key. And you're right, faith is the key. And it goes hand in hand with having that relationship and having that faith and believing.
Lomkes says you're exactly correct, G. Faith. I have faith. The Bible is true. Archaeologists are finding more evidence how true the Bible and Jesus really are. And I agree with you, brother. But I'm not going to look down upon somebody else that doesn't have the same faith as I do. Because as soon as we do, we turn them away.
That's where it starts tearing us apart.
So many people want to shove their religion down your throat and tell you how much you have to believe in it. Guess what it did to me? It pushed me further away. Made me not even want to believe in the religion. Made me not want to believe in God. Because how could somebody act this way? Treat me like I'm nothing because I don't believe the same as they do. It turned me away. Maybe it wouldn't have took me decades if some people didn't try to cram it down my throat. You want to know what led me to God? Because I needed Him. You want to know what really started to lead me in the path of believing in God? Watching somebody I respected, not shoving their belief down my throat, but just living their life and giving me something to emulate. Thinking, why is this guy so happy? What is it about this gentleman that he's found enlightenment that I don't have? It made me want to learn more about the battle. Bounty goes to church every Sunday. Actually, twice a week. Did that make him any better? No. But he didn't try to force his beliefs down my throat. And no, it wasn't Santa. Long hair mess. I found religion long before the convoy.
Yeah. Sandy says, I was baptized Catholic. I enjoy watching the BYU network on Sundays. I enjoy watching the Mormon Bible discussion group. It all makes more sense to me when I listen to those Bible discussions.
Sandy, you just said you're Catholic, right, sweetheart?
She said she was baptized Catholic.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. We do have quite a few Catholics on here. I'm going to tell you something about being Catholic that I don't like. Still consider myself a Catholic. Am I truly a Catholic? No, I guess I kind of, sort of ain't truly a Catholic. Guess what? I've never been baptized. I went through all the classes.
Yep. To
become a Catholic. I jumped through all the hoops that I had to jump through to learn about Catholicism. But I was never baptized. Why is that? Because I'm a truck driver. And one of the Catholic beliefs is you need to attend Mass every Sunday. I don't have that luxury in my life. Not every cathedral has truck parking. Not every Sunday can I shut this truck down to go to Mass. So I never did get baptized. Did that make me less of a Catholic in my heart? No. But I'm not confirmed with the church. Mrs. G's confirmed with the church.
No, I'm not.
No, you didn't.
I was
get confirmed.
baptized.
You were baptized.
I did my first communion. I did not do my confirmation.
And guess what? She can't be confirmed because she's married to me.
Because in the eyes of the Catholic Church, our marriage isn't recognized.
No. Does that make me feel like any less about the Catholic Church? No, I don't. This is a belief in my heart. It's men that came up with those rules. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that I've seen.
Cindy Buck says, I'm more agnostic. but was raised as Catholic and believe in most of what they teach, but can't wrap my mind around lots of it. Tried to read the Bible, but it made my head hurt. Hard to explain it. I don't know that I don't know that God is God because some men tell me to. I fully believe that there truly is a higher power. I've seen and felt too many times to not know something or someone or something is up there watching over us. However it is, I pray to every night. I've had nuns and priests tell me that you can't take the Bible literally.
Moses says, it's not by works that you are saved, Trucker G, but it's okay. God is not partial to the rules. He knows the heart. I ordered your spice today. Can't wait to taste it. Well, thank you, Moses. And you're right. It's not by works alone. But that's what I learned in a lot of the different religions that I went to. Come up front and be saved, and all your sins go away. So a lot of, and I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I know I will. So we're saved by salvation, right? We go up there and we say believe we're saved. So if I go out and I kill 1 million people, and I go on a crazy rampage the next day after I'm saved, all of a sudden I'm going to heaven. And I'm asking this. I'm not telling. This is just me asking. I believe you have to keep working once you're saved. You have to keep working, not to pick up that drink of alcohol and become a drunkard. Not to put that needle in your arm. You have to keep working not to judge thy neighbor. You have to keep working. Maybe I got works wrong. I don't know. You tell me.
Marge says, got my G-spot today. John Tahiti says, I'm Syrian Orthodox. Went to Catholic school. My mom is pagan. I helped run a non-denominational church. I've been around quite a few religious organizations, and it all comes back to the basics.
Guess what? During the convoy, we were one of the people in the convoy, and I'm not going to name names, was pagan. Guess what? I'm here to tell you that was one of the most beautiful women, and I don't mean by looks. Just her soul,
Beautiful
her aura, the way she loved everybody around her.
She's a sweetie.
She was the epitome of how a human should treat another human. And that's what I've seen from her.
And I'm, truly blessed that we got the opportunity to meet her and now call her family. Patricia says, amen, Mom, Pa, Kettle. And I didn't see what they said. Mom, Pa says, John 3:16 through 18. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God, Jesus said.
Ain't there another part in there where it says you're supposed to be baptized, though? About John the Baptist and all that? Like I said, I need to get more versed in my Bible. But what I do notice, a lot of what verses that get thrown at me, and I hear, contradicts itself in some places.
Sonoran Desert says, I was raised Catholic and come from a huge Catholic family. My folks refused to come to my wedding because of Catholicism, beliefs, and rules.
Somebody asked, they're Lutheran, does that make them any different? Sweetheart, it doesn't mean I loved you any less. And I don't want to lose the point here. I don't want people to think this is a whole religious sermon. It boils down to, let's start treating each other
good,
like humans. Stop looking down upon another because of the way they believe. That's bottom line. I don't care who you sleep with, but the Bible says homosexuality is wrong. Well, then don't sleep with another man. Don't sleep with another woman. That's on you. You decide what's good for you. I'm not going to judge somebody else for what they do. The Bible says you need to believe in Jesus. I'm not going to judge a Muslim any different than I am a Christian.
Papa Mike says, we are all in a work in progress. None of us are any better than the next.
I'm going to love you all the
Amen to
same.
that. Kim says, that's man's belief. Baptism is offered by God and is not contingent on attending Mass/church. Accept His gift
No, I
and do
get
your
you.
job
I
to
get
honor
you.
God.
As disheartened as I started to get, it made me believe even more. Maybe follow faith even more.
John says, and don't forget, the Catholic Church removed quite a few books from the actual writing and have kept it from folks. So people need to believe in what and who they want.
I think we took it to the wrong place. It's not me telling you need to be Catholic. That's just what I chose.
We need to be not judgmental towards one another for something that we don't agree with in that person.
Yes, that's
and
just
the way that
what I
person carries
chose.
themselves or their life. Like, heck, tonight when we go get supper, G's probably gonna get, I don't know, curly fries.
I probably will.
And I'll get regular fries.
Yes,
Am I
you
supposed
will.
to hate him because, ew, I hate curly fries?
No,
He
you-
likes them.
No, you need to.
Or am I
You
supposed
need
to
to exalt me.
conform and get curly fries because he got curly fries? No.
I think they get what you're saying.
We need to love each other and treat each other good. Like brothers and sisters do.
Cindy Buck said we should just get rid of types of religion and just be believers.
It tears us apart.
And Cindy, I'm not going to tell anybody what they should believe or they don't. Just not gonna. I'm going to lead by example. You either
Sorry.
like me or you don't like me.
John Zahedi says crinkle cut or steak fries are best. Love you guys.
It's just one of them things. Just look in the mirror, guys, and we can all be the change we want to see. That's what it boils down to. We can all be the change we want to see.
Ash says it goes back to we make things so much harder than it needs to be.
That's what it's
that
supposed to be about.
That conversation went from what Ashley just said, and a lot of you have said, to the point of different religions, different race, different ethnicities. It went to all these things that divide us. Just treat each other good.
I just seen Christians be so hypocritical of others.
But not all Christians are like that.
And when I say Christians. I never had a Muslim come up to me and tell me, you're going to hell because you don't believe in Allah. They might believe it, but they never came up and told me that. I've had Christians come up and tell me that. I've had people on the internet here tell me that I'm not a Christian and I'm going to hell.
Well, Beth says, nah, sweet tater fries, Mrs. G, with G-spot on them.
I've had Christians come on here and tell me that I'm a racist. I'm a bigot. What else am I? I've been called everything in the book. Oh, that I do this just for views? You think I just do this for views and likes, people? I have to deal with more people talking bad about me than good, believe it or not. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of family. You think I do this for views and likes? No, I do it for that one person that might need me.
Mm-hmm.
That one person that might need to have my ear. That one person that's contemplating suicide because they don't feel like they have anybody else to turn to. That one guy or girl that can't get no help out here in the parking lot on how to become a better backer of that truck, or how to be able to shift better, or how to be able to pre-trip plan. I'm a truck driver. Stick with what you're really good at, and that's where my expertise is. Is my expertise in religion? Heck no. All I can do is tell you what's in my heart and what's on my mind, and a lot of times I'm going to be wrong, but I rely on those of you that are smarter than this dumb old hillbilly, to educate me.
Sally says, just love the conversation. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart. Sonora Desert says, love you both and your deep conversations. And the thing is, we just want everyone to love each other, to care about each other.
Yeah.
And not judge each other.
And without any kind of stipulations.
No.
I love you as long as you believe in my God. I love you as long as you sleep with the opposite sex.
I love you as long as you want regular fries.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love you regardless.
I had to.
And some of the things that I don't agree with what you do, I'll pray for you. You might not hear me say, I'll pray for you. But believe me, I'll pray. They don't have to hear I'll pray for you. That's just you down on them for what they're doing and you don't agree with. I'll pray for you. That's like saying, bless his heart. You just as well as give me the finger.
Oh my goodness. Michelle says, my niece was shot and killed Friday night by her husband. And then, ooh, it rolled. Then her husband killed himself.
Sorry to hear that, Michelle.
Sweetheart, we will keep your entire family in our prayers.
That's tough.
We just never know what's going to happen in our lives. And I'm so sorry that your family is going through that.
Guys, I'm starting to get hungry. We kind of just come on here because I felt compelled to after meeting those two young gentlemen.
Yes.
And just thinking about how many people would look down upon them because of their story, and how their story kind of, well, they're called Rise Discipleship, and how it rose my spirits. And I just felt like compelled to talk about these two young men. And I did tell you that I was coming back on, and that's one thing I try not to do is go back on my word. When we got off earlier and we lost signal, I said, we'll come back, and we didn't end up coming back.
Love you, Daniel. Cindy Cody says, I love you both, too. It is not our place to judge.
No, it's not.
Michelle said, thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart.
Love one another. We love you.
Love you guys.
Guys,
Night.
good night.